and bans, some similar bans, and a Lee Sin ban actually going out against the KT Bullets.
Well, they did have some nice kicks to pull Piglet out of there, and it was kind of their main hope. Thresh and Lulu going down again, so they are trying to contain the fast-pushing strategy of SK Telecom that they successfully employed against Samsung Blue. And there we go, Kassadin actually banned out. That's a little bit of a strike.
And that leaves Annie up for Mondu. Ooh, that's a bit dangerous.
Yeah, you got to wonder about that last game. Olaf picked something that could have stuck to Vayne just a little bit better. Probably would have been a superior choice.
That's a really good point, actually. Yeah, Olaf would have been
and
able
the
to
Sivir
make a
nerfs,
huge
too.
difference.
You know, Sivir just got outscaled. And I think that if there had been an Ezreal in that game, I mean, it's hard to say because it went relatively well early for the KT Bullets, but having the Ezreal or a champion that can kite a little bit better than Sivir and who builds nicely with Blade of the Ruined King could have really, really helped against Impact.
Yeah, now Kakao mulling over Elise for his pickup for jungle. We'll see if they go through with it. Olaf's still on the board.
I think they should take Elise Olaf right here.
Wouldn't be bad, yeah. We know Insect can play a mean Olaf in the top lane.
Yeah, just give up on the Sivir pickup.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head where
Shyvana.
you. Well, all right, Shyvana's okay too, but you need a way to get into the back lines on the carry, onto Piglet, and Shyvana does do that, so there you go. Wow, and would we actually possibly see a Xin Xiao from Bengi?
Probably not, but there we go.
Okay, that's a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah, Bengi's most played champion this season has been Olaf. Switching around a little bit, but Shyvana at least not giving anything away, so the KT Bullets happy to play a little more standard so far.
SK Telecom locking in Renekton, a popular top lane pickup, although not going with the Mundo instead, which is what I think you normally see.
Well, Mundo loses really hard to Blade first Shyvana, so you get pushed in, and if you want to actually combat that lane pressure, Renekton's going to be a good pickup. However, Renekton just doesn't scale as well as some of these other tanky champions into the late game, and I think Piglet will grab Caitlyn. The question is, who are they going to put with Caitlyn? I mean, with Annie here, but like with the rest of the team, because if they want to do this harass-heavy play where they push down towers very quickly, I guess the Renekton will be able to bully this Shyvana, at least in the early laning phase. But this is a situation where KT Bullets may have a late game advantage, at least on paper. Once again,
we haven't talked at all about the fact that Nidalee is open as well, and we could see that Nidalee
would be very strong for SK Telecom as well.
Yeah,
gives you great siege with that Caitlyn.
And would they actually, they stole the Nami from Mondu. That is pretty shocking, actually.
I think they were.
Well, they didn't steal it because Mondu was already playing Annie.
I'm interested to see how this combo gets rounded out, just because the Nami is a bit of a confusing pickup right here, and that's not a champion Mafa has played at all.
So Faker's Gragas is what we're going to see in the mid lane from SK Telecom K. And what will the mid lane pickup be?
And the KT Bullets. The Nunu, of course, going with the Caitlyn. We often question the Nunu jungle pickups here in Korea, but with Caitlyn, you have that synergy, and this can carry you through to the late game as well. So it's a little bit of insurance coming in. So they've got a powerful lineup for pushing early, as well as one that will be able to transition into some solid play late.
Tidecaller's Blessing plus Lucian's passive could equal a lot of good auto attack poke in lane. Not to mention if they do go with Nidalee here and there, they're going to lock it in. It's a really good addition to a siege type comp.
Yep.
And we've seen, we saw Nami used all of Champion Summer basically as a big disengage tool when you're running those split push siege comps. And here, that's exactly what we have. Shyvana in the top lane and then a really good 4-man core.
Both of these teams actually surprisingly focusing comps around their AD carries. In this case, of course, with Nidalee as well, being able to increase the attack speed on Lucian, as well as the Tidecaller's Blessing, you've got a lot of ability to buff score as the AD carry and make sure that he can output probably more damage, a lot more damage than he did in the last game. However, Lucian still does fall off a little bit in the late game compared to a blood-boiled Caitlyn, that's for sure.
Yeah, that is true. Tidecaller's Blessing does fall a bit short there. There we go. There's our roster for game number 2, and it is going to be an interesting one.
I'm most interested in this matchup just because I want to see what SK Telecom's plan is with the Renekton pickup. This hasn't been something that we've seen a lot from Impact this season, only once.
Yeah. All right. The Nunu from Bengi as well, something we've only seen once from him this season. Mid lane, Faker on Gragas, always a strong pickup there, and then Ryu on Nidalee should be pretty scary again, paired with Score's Lucian. But Piglet on Caitlyn, I mean, it's his most successful carry. He is a Caitlyn player, hands down.
In the Champion Summer, he pretty much exclusively played Vayne and Caitlyn.
Exactly.
So these are the champions that we know him for, that he is most comfortable with, and he's back to his roots here today.
So far, the passes return to haunt the KT Bullets, but with a Spectre of Piglet's Faker, equal to 2-0 for KT. Going into the rest of this best of 5, or will the KT Bullets tie it up? Let's find out and get in the game. Oh, Long Panda, at the beginning of that intro, you are gone but not forgotten.
Never forget.
Never forgotten, no. Can't forget Long Panda. Set 2, the KT Bullets versus SK Telecom K. Here on Champions Winter with Doan Monte Cristo, and so far SK Telecom K looking pretty good in game number 1, but we've seen how things can turn around in this matchup in the past, and already possibly a bit of an invade being planned by SK Telecom.
And usually it's the KT Bullets that get off to a strong start. In the 2 previous best of 5s, KT Bullets have won the first game in both instances.
That's a really good point.
Forcing SK Telecom to come back out of a hole in order to win it.
Oh, some decent damage put on Ryu initially. That's just one of the things that makes Piglet so deadly on this Caitlyn, is that long auto attack range combined with the poke damage from Piltover Peacemaker from that Q. It's pretty scary stuff.
Mondu's also started Doran's Ring this game, so he's looking for that big damage early. They see Score.
I like it.
He did pick up the Cleanse as his summoner spell this game, so the all-in potential with a Doran's Ring Annie, especially since they have the barrier if they want to go in for that duel, is going to be pretty advantageous. Score. Ooh, I'm not sure how that missed.
Oh well. Even the best of us miss that Peacemaker once in a while.
Oh, it just looked like it hit.
Yeah, that's a lot too.
Insec actually gets pushed out a little bit by Impact early on right there, taking a little bit of damage. But both teams know that it will be this 1v1 early on. And some early leashing there by Impact, just helping out Bengi.
Yep, a little bit late to that blue buff. He's going to try to do it. Ryu, though, thinking about trying to go for a steal, but he's going to go back to lane. And I think that's definitely the better idea. Ooh, chunk out a Faker right away. A Faker responding in kind, though, with a barrel. I don't know, being hit with a spear, hit with a barrel. Which would you prefer? Worst case scenario, would you rather be hit with a spear or a barrel?
Is the barrel full?
Well, yeah, obviously.
I think I'd actually take the spear.
Yeah?
Yep.
As morbid as it sounds, I would agree, just because a spear would damage theoretically less.
Also, I think it would be a quicker death than getting crushed.
That's true, too, yeah.
Good question, though.
That's right. It's a tough one. It's one for the ages, man. Would you rather? Barrel or spear?
Well, some early pressure across all lanes right here from SK Telecom, and this is allowing Bengi to freely farm his jungle right now. Everyone else forced back underneath the turrets, and SK Telecom, they've got this aggressive lane that was so successful against Samsung Blue, that style of lane at the very least.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of pressure on Kakao right now. It's up to him to make the plays, because this is where SKT has been dangerous this season, when they shove you and they play so aggressively in the lane phase. It forces the jungler to make some hard decisions about where he needs to go to help. In this situation, I gotta think you should go bottom.
Certainly seems that way. Score and Mafa could certainly use the help.
I just think you have the highest kill potential right there as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
With Nami able to get some CC down.
You know, that lane push up with the Octopus, and then also with the slightly less ward coverage that you find in Season 4. Bot lane's not a bad target sometimes, but so far, we've got Kakao hanging out by the top lane, taking those mini golems before helping out Insect. And Insect is a level up on Impact actually for now, but it's got to be pretty close. Whoa, a lot of damage on the Impact. Yeah, pushes him right out of lane, man.
Really not able to hang. Wow, Score getting extremely low.
He's got to be so careful.
Didn't use his flash though, critically. Yep. But that will force him to go back. And Bengi now going for that invade, so with all his lanes pressed up, buying himself a little time, and the freedom, of course, to go ahead and counter jungle without fear of Ryu rotating over and taking him out. So by putting down this pressure.
Okay, let's take a look at that. Mandu just with a really good stun off of that Q.
A lot of damage coming out of Annie as well.
I think did some good damage to Piglet too, but that was a close call for Score, really close. And the unfortunate thing for Mappa is that you see how low his mana is. Your W is going to cost you a lot of mana early on, and Nami players, there's very little that Nami players hate more than a carry that gets themselves chunked down in the early game. Yeah, they're going to try to come in here. Bengi gets caught immediately by Kakao. He's going to be on the run now. Kakao chasing Bengi. Is he going to give him first blood? No, actually, first blood taken by Impact, and Bengi escapes. Kakao in a little bit of trouble, though. Impact, oh, a nice stun there.
And chasing deep into a massive line of caster minions, ensuring that they took a lot of damage from the creep wave right there. So that'll be the first death, and Insect was up in that lane looking good. Now down in CS, down a kill.
That's going to hurt him
and
quite a bit.
Impact's fortunes really turning around. Faker keeping Ryu pressed up, but when you do this, you have so many liberties for what you can do in terms of counter jungling, which we've seen Bengi take advantage of, and with everybody shoved so deep under the turret. How do you deal with this situation? Kakao can't be everywhere at once, and made the wrong call right there.
Yeah.
The pursuit was the wrong call. Getting greedy was the wrong call.
Yep. Can't get greedy. Only person who's ever been super greedy and gotten away with it was Scrooge McDuck. And even he had good family values.
That's true.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, Faker, man, look at how much he's zoned out Ryu. 46 CS to 26 in that mid lane.
It's a disaster.
It really is. And I mean, it's not going much better in the bot lane either. Piglet up on Score, 44 to 28.
I mean, there's a reason why we saw Samsung Blue prioritizing Gragas bans against SK Telecom. And Faker, we've heard interviews here at OGN where players are saying, Gragas is the best mid champion right now. And putting it in the hands of a player like Faker, certainly not something you want to do.
I would say so. Oh, Mandu and Piglet coming up, chasing people away as Bengi comes down, and with that Blood Boil onto Piglet, presumably, which he'll have up eventually. They should be able to take out that bot lane turret.
So
Bengi wave a little bit low.
Playing like Bengi does, actually getting the Sight Stone before the Spirit Stone right here, so advancing those wards. Look how protected he's keeping this lane. SK Telecom, they want to push up, and they want to do it in the safest way as possible. They see the gank coming in, but this is really just, ping's going down, so a little bit of a feint right there, but Piglet and Mandu immediately backing off. They want to keep the pressure up, they want to keep rotating, they want to get the towers and move on.
Yeah, on Bengi going for a red steal over on the other side too now. He should get it. Yep, there it is. Consumed. The funny thing is that in Korean they do talk about eating the red buff or eating dragon or something like that. They use the verb to eat when they talk about taking the buffs in the jungle camps in this game.
Interesting fact about Korean League of Legends.
Yep. They eat everything, I guess.
Kakao trying to hand off the blue right here. Bengi threatening from the side, however.
They're going to give that a minion. Oh, man. Kakao had to take it. They wanted to give it over to Ryu, but minion got in the way of the spear. That was a close one.
Sloppy transfer right there from the KT Bullets. And
yep.
They got a little too focused on the Nunu right there, and the little minion managing to block that very important spear.
Yep.
But at least for the KT Bullets, they did pick it up, didn't give it over to Bengi. But that's going to be, Ryu really needed that too, to stick around in this lane that he is getting crushed in currently. There's the ward expiring at exactly
the wrong time.
Or right time.
Well, a right time for SKT, wrong time for Kakao as he came in to try to get ready for that gank. So
Impact being a little cute right here, trying to go toe-to-toe with Insect for a moment. And there's that tower, and this is where things really start to get bad for the KT Bullets.
Yeah, things are not looking too much better.
SK Telecom did this 3 games in a row against Samsung Blue, shoving all their lanes, playing around.
Oops.
Oh, that's...
Oh, Faker.
Wow, nobody can take a blue this game.
Man.
We've forgotten our fundamentals.
I guess so. He's going to have to go back and practice taking the blue buff
That's
after
a lot
this.
of time as well.
It really is, yeah. Faker's so bad. What a bad mid laner. Jeez, look at that. I've taken blue buff so much faster than Faker.
SK Telecom going for the dragon off of that as well.
Oh, they get it
the
too.
lane, so easy dragon for SKT T1 as they continue to dominate the global objectives game. It's just so weird to see this because this is how the KT Bullets used to play.
That's right, Mandu taking the big spearhead. Needs to be a little bit careful there, but with Piglet and Faker, Ryu can't really do much of anything.
Yeah, KT Bullets, champion summer. Push a lane as push your dual lane.
Oh, whoa, Flash Timbers under Ryu going deep for that one. Mandu popping the shield, taking some damage. That was a bold move there. That was bloodthirsty, dodges the spear.
That was actually a huge mistake by Mandu.
It was indeed, a little bit too far that time.
They lost all pressure when they might have been able to take down that turret otherwise by continually threatening, because when that Timbers is off cooldown, you have that threat, so it makes it very difficult for the enemy team to engage or push out.
Yeah, well,
but by blowing it like that, really,
I wonder how many people.
Error.
I really want to know how many players were involved in that call. I've got to. That one looks like just Mandu kind of going for it.
Yeah, reversing that pressure in the mid lane so critical.
Yeah.
Insect coming back into the lane.
Well, still, what a 2,000 gold lead for SK Telecom. So they're still in very good shape here, still leading on CS with all of the lanes. Jungle a little bit behind, but that's all right. Oh, man, and Mandu already taking a lot of damage from those spears. They need to be very cautious about this.
You know, you really got to hand it to SK Telecom. They're in a situation where if they didn't have this Nunu, I love their team composition this game because
wow, Piglet, they're actually going to dive this 4v1. Piglet in big trouble there. There's no way he's getting away from this. Or is he? Man, what a play. The flash and the 90 caliber net in to make it out. Ryu taking some hits. And I got to say, KT may have played their hand a little bit too early there, too, coming down kind of in a line rather than sort of fanning out and trapping Piglet under turret like you would normally see.
That's another failed dive from the KT Bullets.
Yeah.
They've been making a lot of mistakes when trying to get kills under towers tonight, and that's really holding them back. Some pretty critical kills have been missed. And
yeah, that was a kill that Piglet should not have been able to escape from.
I mean, we saw it in the first game, too, in the 3v1 attempted dive onto Impact. Pretty large error right there from Maffa that time, missing his Alistar combo.
That's right. Well, Spear's coming in, a little bit of a stun onto Bengi, but that mid turret taking a lot of hits. Ryu slowed down by that snowball.
And the pressure continuing. They're finally
will they get it?
Will they get this tower?
No, not quite. I was close. Maybe if Faker had stuck around, but would have been a bit dangerous.
So anyway, as I was saying, SK Telecom, even though we did see Mandu get a little too aggressive and lose that pressure.
Wow.
And in a lot of these fast push compositions, that's really terrible. I mean, it's terrible anyway, but it can be game-changing because you need to get those objectives. You have to keep that fast push going because if it loses steam, the other team can kind of force things into a late game. But with the Nunu pickup right here, one of the very few times I've liked the Nunu jungle pick in Champions, this season at the very least, you have that sustainability into the late game, particularly with Gragas, easily able to disrupt the fight. You've got lots of heal for Caitlyn, and you can rely on Piglet to just hard carry, and there he goes, 2 more shots.
Yeah, that's right.
Take out the turret, Insect in trouble.
Oh, everybody popping their ultimates there, but Insect should be able to swag, walk his way out of that one. Ryu dealing with Faker, ace on the hole coming in, and Ryu knows he's in big trouble now. Oh, barely avoiding that explosive cast. Close call.
Got knocked around a little bit right there, but
up.
SK Telecom just isn't giving them anything at all, and
oh, Cacao
picks it up, but that's another denial of blue buff onto Nidalee, and SK Telecom playing this perfectly. You've got to control that blue buff so that Nidalee can't siege, and flash over the wall from Becky. Getting a little crazy right there.
Yeah, popping his ultimate there for a moment just to zone people out. And that tier 2 turret getting very low. Tidal Wave, though, comes over the top. Ryu, Piglet, nice dodge with the Aqua Prison there. Managed to get away. The Ebb and Flow coming in. And there's a flash as well that helped him pick up the kill on Namandu. Mafa actually flashed for that Ebb and Flow to do a little bit of damage. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Insec and Impact still dueling. Yeah, I know. You know my biggest fear for this match is? It's going to blind pick and having Mundo versus Mundo top.
Please no.
Like, is this hell? That's right. If we get to blind pick, let's just hope that doesn't happen.
All right, so some proxy farming, dirty farming coming in here from Insec. The train of the KT Bullets moving through right there, but Ryu smacking his face into a tree, but they'll go ahead and take the blue buff right as it spawns.
Yep.
So finally, Ryu may be able to get one, and he does take it out. So KT Bullets, though, they've lost all their outer turrets at this point. They've got to start taking some of these objectives. They're in real trouble.
Yeah. And Piglet rotating down to this bot lane for just a moment is going to make sure that bot lane at least stays safe for the time being.
Look at this, though. I mean, 2 early sight stones from SK Telecom. They've littered the map with green wards already. And the problem is KT Bullets, they haven't switched over to any lenses yet. They've got to pick up some of those items. They're hitting 9 right now. The lens changes are so good, and you see all of these vision items. You have to clear it out right now if you're KT, because with this lead that SKT has, they're just, if they continue to have vision control, they're just going to continually rotate and choke you out by moving from objective to objective and taking those turrets.
Yeah, that's right. Vision control always paramount. That's one thing that never changes season to season.
SKT has, however, lost control of the dragon, at least temporarily, but no pinks on KT Bullets and no lenses. So they've not, as soon as SKT advances their vision right here, there's not going to be much that KT can do to stop this. It's really interesting to me that with the changes to lens that we're not seeing more of them on KT right now.
Yeah, the adjustment hasn't been made quite as quick as it needed to have been made, I think. But for now, KT still controlling that Baron pit, but still just a little bit too dangerous to actually take it with SK Telecom so close by. Not to mention they do still need to worry about their other lanes pushing up. Bot lane is in trouble as well. They'll have to send Scorn off to that one, but no, they're going back for Dragon because SK Telecom is going to try to take it. Culling comes over the wall, doesn't really hit anybody.
It was the tickling that time.
A little bit, yeah. The gentle massaging, and SKT takes the Dragon.
Yeah, they're probably not going to get the top lane turret for this either, so SK Telecom continues to grow their lead. Full HP on that, even though Insect spent all that time dirty farming. Impact caught most of the waves, and due to his tankiness at the moment and his wave clear with his Q, able to take out most of those waves, and that's the first little bit of damage down. Pink ward in the brush, Cacao not even knowing it's there.
I guess not. He's going to get his red buff, but he's going to be seen the entire time. It's just invasive, you know?
And that pink ward will stay up as well. So SK Telecom just, I think last game too, we really saw that they understand vision better right now than the KT Bullets.
Than pretty much everybody at the moment.
That
turns
mid tower
into
is
one
so
hit away.
low.
Yep.
So if you're the KT Bullets, you know, what do you do right now? Honestly, there's not a lot. You may be able to set up some kind of pick, but it's not going to happen. Still, no lenses. I think this is just a game-breaking error from the KT Bullets to not have lenses right now, to have absolutely none. And it's weird too, because Ryu always was one of the few mid laners to go lens when we first had the preseason patch come in, or at least swap over to lens quite early. And not seeing it here today.
An interesting thing too is that we see Mafa and Nami going for that chalice right away again instead of going for something like a sight stone or a talisman quicker. And the fact that he doesn't have a sight stone puts a lot more pressure on the rest of his team members to buy more wards and to keep those warding totems too. So I think partially it's a little bit Mafa's built this game as well. That's kind of holding them back as far as switching to those sweeping lenses.
Well, just KT Bullets have no choice but to play super defensively right now, and this is exactly where SK Telecom wants them. They've got those wards, and Bengi takes it.
Assume that rude dude.
Yeah, Bengi takes it, so the ward's going to advance, and Piglet, all he has to do is rotate right now. He just has to kill turrets. You don't need to do anything fancy, but as long as you can watch the enemy.
Oh, Piglet gets in with that Aqua Prison. Needs to be very careful there. Doesn't take too much, but still a dangerous moment. Meanwhile, SK Telecom will claim the blue buff from the KT Bullets.
Again, I mean, they know exactly what to do here. It's just such methodical, intelligent play from SK Telecom.
Yeah. Whoa. Fans getting pumped up. They're like Jinx, man. They're getting excited. Me too. Here we go. The inhibitor turret in trouble. Aqua Prison does not connect. Kakao on the outside looking for a possible cocoon. And Spears coming from Ryu. Needs to be very careful. Bengi taking a turret hit, but that turret nearly eliminated right from the very first push from SK Telecom.
There's nothing they can do. I mean,
not really, no.
This game is too far gone right now. KT just don't have an answer, and SK Telecom have taken away all the possible tools. That blue buff is so important.
Yeah. Well, this is a scary moment for SK Telecom, because if they go down 0-2, and here comes a tidal wave, doesn't connect with anybody, and Bengi slowing people up with his ultimate man, just a flash away. And Insect coming over the top with that Shyvana. Piglet takes down Nami, actually. Mafa getting taken out immediately. There goes the turret, and there's just nothing that KT can do. They don't have the damage.
Well, they grouped
They don't
right
have
there.
the presence, and they did group, yeah.
Mondu hit them with a 3-man Tibbers that was chained into Faker.
Oh.
Faker with his explosive cast. So that was just a near perfect use of abilities from SK Telecom to maximize their AoE damage. And without any kind of follow-up, it was easy for the rest of them just to focus down Insec after he came in over the top while the rest of his team was stunned. Makes it quite easy, but excellent execution.
Oh, Faker found Ryu. Uh-oh. Oh, just going to say hi. All right.
No Ignite, so
That's
no
right.
death for Ryu to get maybe a little bit lucky right there.
Ryu shaking his head in a little bit of frustration, and this has got to be a doubly frustrating game after the way game 1 went. It was close, but game 2, not so much.
That was just such a good split from the tidal wave as well. So if you look at what happens right here, Bengi flashes out.
Oh,
that right there,
yeah.
that just tremendous damage. They stunned both of the carries and then hit them with the explosive pass, just chunking him out of the fight right afterwards. And
really good.
Great setup from Mondu.
I feel like we're seeing a little bit of Nami inexperience from Mafa as well, honestly, too, because a tidal wave like that is kind of one of the cardinal errors of Nami players, is trying to engage with tidal wave. It's so seldom. Your positioning has to be so good to actually make that effective. And that's why we don't see it very often.
You got to give props to SK Telecom for being totally ready for that as well,
Oh,
though,
yeah.
and just splitting beautifully.
Well,
Insec here.
I bet Mondu
still
was
in the
telling you it
brush,
was coming,
3
man.
people top. They could do this, maybe. They know Gragas isn't there, but they don't have good eyes on Nunu right now, but they may just have to go ahead and try it.
You know, I think so. Insec will have a ticket to the back line, being that he's behind everybody already, but we'll see. Gragas
Ryu's
going
coming.
back. That's right. Mondu gets jumped on. They're trying to run away. Cocoon. Mondu gets lit up immediately. Insec with that kill. Kakao on the outside now. Bengi trying to run away. There's a nice tidal wave comes out from Mafa. Slows people down. It's a big win for KT in this team fight. Piglet doing damage from the outside, but with no front line. He has to stay too far back to claim any of the low health members of the KT Bullets. And a nice little win there. Will it save their turret, though? That's the big question.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you get those 2 kills because they're unable to actually relieve the pressure on the turret right now. Piglet just healing right back up with that Bloodthirster.
Yeah.
Putting down a few more auto attacks, and I mean, this just shows how big of a trouble the KT Bullets are in. They just can't do anything. When you kill 2 members and you still can't stop Piglet's siege,
well,
that's bad.
Yeah, they need to kill Piglet. They wrapped up Mondu. You know, I mean, they got a good engage onto him, but that left the most important member of SKT able to do whatever he needed to.
Yeah, just Blood Boil Caitlyn shooting from the brush as well, so able to really stack up those headshots and maximize the damage. That's nearly flawless positioning
Well,
from
SK
Piglet
Telecom,
in both games tonight.
SKT consoles themselves after losing those 2 members of their team by taking Dragon again. And that's going to give them a nearly 6,000 gold lead.
Insect stealing Big Wolf right there.
Yep. Oh, what gold you have. What large amounts of gold you have.
And remember, these are the post minion, super minion changes too, so that lane pushes a lot harder than it used to. Big Ward goes into the lane brush. And Spears continuing to rain down right now.
Now, for those of you who may be unfamiliar, now after in 3.15 rather, the super minions give the minions that they're near to big bonuses in damage and defensive.
Bigger
stats.
Yeah, bigger.
Yeah. Well, before it was big, now it's big. It's all about the emphasis.
So it's going to allow teams, I think we did see too much of an ability for teams that had lost an inhibitor to drag it out.
I agree,
and
yeah.
come back. And you know, there should be a better reward for taking down an inhibitor, and I think this is the right tweak that needed to be made so that you can actually continue to take objectives after you've gotten that inhibitor and have a way to close out the game.
Yeah, it does seem like a good one. And so the siege continues from SK Telecom. That Aqua Prison again, a miss on the Piglet, but the Cocoon didn't miss. Piglet popping the barrier, gets pushed away a little bit, has to pop that flash. Tidal Wave does not connect because of Mondu with another great Tibbers to lock up a lot of the KT members. There goes the explosive cast, getting everybody else even lower. So no deaths, but SK Telecom still looking a bit stronger overall. Just waiting for that next minion wave.
Yep, and they have to go back. The inhibitor is back up right now. Yep. But there's a large wave of minions. They've got to go clear that out if they don't want to lose it again. SK Telecom just not deterred, continuing to shove.
Well, the inhibitor's back, and so that'll give KT a little bit of breathing room for now in that mid lane at least. But, man, the way Piglet's been dodging skill shots this game has really been something else.
Well, he got caught out by the Cocoon there a little bit.
He did, but after that, I mean, he got away from everything else, and that Cocoon was kind of one of the few times he did get caught this game.
Yeah, Mondu, I think Mondu's really had an impressive game as well.
Oh, he's always there to stun whenever he needs to. And that's what you need to do if you're going to play in a lane with that Caitlyn, or in a game with that Caitlyn as Annie. You need to be ready to protect with that stun.
So 1 tower to 6 right now. SK Telecom. I don't know, Doa. I don't really understand what the plan with the Lucian Nami lane was right here, because they just got totally shut down.
Yeah, they did.
By SK Telecom, and they could have maybe at least gone somewhat equal or taken towers approximately as fast in a 2v1, but going 2v2 against...
Oh, Insect getting chased, getting surrounded. Can they take him out? Actually, he's going to have to ult the wall. Ooh, that was ugly. Bengi gets hit with the Aqua Prison, but no follow-up. And, you know, I mean, I think what SK Telecom is doing as well in the spot lane is doing a very good job of taking advantage of the passivity of Score and Mappa and really just bullying them more than you would normally be able to bully a bot lane like that.
Yeah, you just gotta, you have to have some kind of plan. You know, we talked about this being one of the keys coming in is how much SK Telecom likes to just press hard with their duo. And here we go, a little bit of action.
Well, it's just a top lane duel happening in the team now. Never mind, here we go. Coming in now, Score on the outside trying to do some damage. Another fantastic Timber stun followed by the explosive cast. It's just the same team fight over and over again, and that means SK Telecom is going to win yet another one. A double kill for Impact this time, and they're not done yet. Have to back off now. They're going to be content with that inhibitor, but there it is. They just wait for the engage. Mondu is there immediately with Annie, and Faker's ready to split up the team and also create those dueling situations.
The body block on the culling to keep Piglet alive by Impact and Bengi right there, immediately turning to help out the carry. Piglet is going to shoot over the top of the Baron pit. Easy nice Baron for SK Telecom to take right here.
That's right. Not a whole lot that KT can do. Baron is dying slowly. Score coming over. He heard rumors about the culling stealing Baron in Champion, so he's going to give it a try. No, he can't do it.
No way you take that Baron.
Not from a Nunu, man.
And Gragas.
Nunu Gragas,
yeah, that's going to be a really tough one to steal.
Yeah, well, Score didn't even have the culling available, I guess, so no dreams for him.
Well, there's really not a lot to say about this game. I think that Kakao's early pathing too was a bit problematic. If you want, you have to contain this lane. You have to punish them for pushing up so far in some capacity.
Oh, Piglet dodging, doing a lot of damage to Kakao. They're going to come out. There's an explosive cast, just trying to push the numbers of KT off of that mid lane turret.
You'd think that the KT Bullets, I keep harping on this, would know how to play against these kind of fast push competition. This was their bread and butter, but their SK Telecom has just absolutely demolished them this game.
Yep. That is true, and it sets up a very uncomfortable game number 3 for the KT Bullets. It's almost, well, exactly reverse to the Champions Summer Finals, you know, where KT went up 2 games and SK Telecom had to try to make that comeback this time in Champions Winter in the semifinal. SK Telecom putting their rivals in that same spot.
It would be epic if they reversed it in the same way.
It really would, yeah.
I mean, I really hope we go to a Game 5. That Game 1 was pretty even for most of the time, but this second game of the series, KT Bullets just not responding well to all of the pressure that SK Telecom was willing to put down early, looking a little bit lost and unsure about how to react, and just also the lens issue.
Still no lenses.
Still no lenses.
Yeah. Really no excuse to not have those at this point.
The only way you're going to win right now is by creating uncertainty.
Yeah. Here we go. Oh, Insect coming deep but getting low already. Nice tidal wave, though. But it doesn't matter. SK Telecom with a quick early kill. Insect just never reached that level of tankiness this game that Impact did in Game 1.
Also, SK Telecom's tremendous lead right here.
Oh, yeah.
So
11,000 gold is pretty significant.
Able to blow him up immediately. Piglet, of course, that Blood Boil Caitlyn. Such a threat. There's the pushing it into.
Yep. Already pushing
one more
through.
time.
Impact going deep, gets the stun on Mafa. Mafa goes down without too much trouble. Tibbers helping out there as well. And there's the turret. And it's just cleanup now for SK Telecom. Faker tanking the turret because who cares? There we go, Impact. The Bullets doing everything they can to try to delay this, but you can't stop the SK Telecom steamroller now, man. It's going.
Yeah, they just have a great team composition.
Yeah, they do.
I'm very impressed in SK Telecom's picks and bans for this game, and they played it out. They had that pickup in mid lane, but other than that, nearly a perfect execution.
Yep. And KT, everybody's back up now. They do catch Impact a little bit, but Insect again, low health, cannot get into the back lines and do what Shyvana needs to do. Whoa! Cacao tried to come down, but he gets killed. Had to repel immediately before doing any damage. And there's a double kill for Faker. Make that 3 kills all together for SKT. And that is it. That is it. It's over. Insect going back. There goes Nexus Turret 1. Nexus Turret 2. Take it out as well. And there goes the Nexus. And SK Telecom T1 will take Game 2 and put them 1 game away from the Champions Winter Grand Finals.
Incredibly dominating performance from SK Telecom.
Yeah.
But